So this is our live trading session on the 18th of September 2009. Thought we'd share this clip from our session. It's taking you through a couple of the currency pairs that we're trading, and you'll see how we manage some of those trades in real time and how the moderator talks you through that process. So our target, so we got short at 63.74, hard stop was at 63.86 plus the spread, which we didn't mention in the room, but we will be making a note of that to be referring to that from now on. So our target there is at 63.45 on the pound US dollar. So we're getting a second stab at that. Hopefully that gives us enough momentum to go to target. Either way, we've reduced our risk. So our initial stop was there at 163. Let's have a look there. Initial stop at 163.95 or thereabouts, and we've brought that down to 86. So we've reduced our risk, looking for a possible 28 pips. Collingwood supporters will be out in force. Traders, so we just want to go back through some of these. We'll just go back to a range all, and we just want to see how these trades are tracking. So as I said, the pound US dollar in that top left hand corner, we'll follow that. Nice move on the euro yen. Didn't get our setup to take that, so we didn't get a reset of the bands, which is what we needed. So that's we're stopped out of the euro US dollar. So out there for a 12 pip loss. As I said, no real big deal on that one. So part of the process of going back through this trade sequence or back through the data and doing this back test is really for the purpose of making sure that we're able to kind of, number one, identify the biggest winning streak. Everybody loves to know what the biggest winning streak is, but also prepare ourselves for the largest losing streak, and also know what our general trade size should be, because that helps manage our expectation. If we struggle to do the appropriate amount of back testing and testing, then we never really have a true indication of what the potential trade sizes are that we're going to be taking. Because this is a dynamic system, it's dynamic in relation to price action. So the trade sizes will never be exactly the same on the pairs. And if you haven't done that work and you're trying to manage your risk in real time for position sizing, and suddenly you get a 50 pip trade that you take without thinking, then that's where you can get into trouble. So just making sure that you regularly manage and assess your position size, but also that you've got that expectation of what your trade size is going to be. Big tick chart or share bar chart, and you find that initially it fits within your parameters, and then you get a sequence of trades that are bigger than usual, and they're well above your appropriate or level of risk, then, and you've taken those trades, then you can't really give those trades back, can you? So you've got to make sure that you're not making decisions in the heat of the battle. Right, traders, so pound yen, as I said before, for those people who have just joined us in the room, some nice early Asian action, and the euro yen had one trade set up there at around about 129, so just before we came in. Wouldn't have been a trade we would have taken because of the filter. That being said, like, the stop was in the candle, so that's one that we would automatically say we're not taking that trade. And at the moment we're seeing the euro US dollar come off a bit here, so we potentially could get a setup. We were long that market and got stopped out, so we're down 12 pips on that trade. We're not quite at break even on our other trade there. So we need to make a decision here as to whether we're going to take this possible euro US dollar setup, which looks like it's going to happen. And if we do take that trade, unless we bring this pound US dollar trade to break even. So decision time hasn't triggered yet, so we might hopefully go to at least 80%, and then the decision's made for us. or alternatively, what we do now is we say, right, well, we got within a fraction of our 80% level. Let's lock our trade in a break even here on the pound US dollar and take this euro US dollar setup if it triggers. So that's a decision you need to make yourself based on your trading plan. These are things that you need to think about when you're trading. If you've got the power of quitting and you're using that as a reference point for your trade plan, what happens when you're in a trade? The first one stops out. The second one potentially is on the cusp of going to target but hasn't quite hit the 80% level, and then you've got a third trade setting up. So that we want to be structured and disciplined in the number of trades we take. Two and done is a good number. We don't want to be over trading. For example, last night, if you had have been, if you don't have a standard process or a circuit breaker in the market, you can get caught up in just taking trades that's set up. So you want to make sure that, okay, right, well, it's two and done, that's it, shut down, and that's what we're doing in the room. We're just taking the two winners AT, because I'm just cognizant that this euro US dollar is going to set up here. It's giving all the indications that we might get a sell, so we just want to keep an eye on that. And we also need to manage this pound US dollar trade as well. Nothing setting up on the DAX. The DAX is pretty flat open there on the DAX. Okay, there's our short setup on the euro US dollar. We're just about at 80%, so 47.03. Okay, so we need to just relax a bit here. Let's bring that up. That's just bolted out of the gate, so way too quick. Gone to 1x. Alright, traders, so you potentially, the risk to reward is good, 15 to 10. That's not too bad, but that trade has just bolted away and hit its 1x target, so I wouldn't personally be taking that trade now after it's hit 1x, and you may not get an opportunity to get in there, so that was way too quick. I guess the upside is that our pound US dollar trade's gone to target, so there will be times when we just don't have time to call a trade in the that sets up too quick, and look, I'll apologise in advance for that, but that's just the reality of trading. Some trades you will never ever get on, and you just have to accept that. You'll go through and back test, and you'll look at that trade